So we are living in unprecedented times right now, for sure. In the last 48 hours, we have seen two American banks actually go down. Like two US banks actually closed. Couple interesting things though. These were banks that were kind of tightly associated to the crypto space and in the innovation space in general. In this video, we're going to talk about why some of these banks are closing, what they're saying the reason that they're closing is, how the Fed, what they have to do with this, and some other crypto projects that could have exposure to some of these banks that could cause a little bit of turmoil for this space. Very interesting things going on in this market right now. Welcome to Everything Currency. This is a show where we talk about everything crypto and mo. I'm your host Jay, and today I want to talk to you guys about everything I just talked about in that intro. Getting right into it because there's a lot to unpack with what's going on right here and all of my thoughts on it, some of the things that we know and some of the interesting things going on. So coming right here, this Yahoo article, I don't know if it's Yahoo's or whoever, but everybody had the same article for some reason. Two banks collapse in 24 hours. Which one is next? Silvergate Bank served the cryptocurrency industry, while SVB was the bank for Silicon Valley startups. Coming right here, it says, coming down, like this is a different platform, but it's the exact same article. But coming down right here, the go-to bank for tech startups. At the end of last year, SVB had 209 billion total assets and 175 billion in total deposits. SVB became the second biggest bank failure in the U.S. after Washington Mutual in 2008. It's a central player in the innovation economy. It was a backbone for Silicon Valley. It played a major important role in startups. Coming down here a little bit, it says SVB suffered from the rise in interest rates from the Federal Reserve because it hurt the value of its investments, especially bonds. As a result, the bank had to resort to capital raise as many startups withdrew their funds. There was a bank run. All of these people say, hey, we need our bank right now, since they were burning through a lot of cash. They said we need their money right now, my bad. SVB had to sell bonds, primarily U.S. Treasury securities, at a discount to cover these withdrawals. The rise in interest rates had made these existing bonds less valuable. In selling these positions, SVB had to take a significant loss. So they didn't have the money that they needed because the price of the bonds that they were holding were less than the amount of the deposits. They had 200 billion that they needed. They only had 175 billion. 2 days earlier, Silvergate Bank, the crypto bank, collapsed. I don't know if you guys know about that situation, but yeah, that crypto bank collapsed a couple of days before that. But both of these banks were kind of associated with the crypto industry. They just say SVB was in the startup, like innovation industry. Well, that's crypto. That's what crypto is, right? Coming right here, we see stablecoin issuers seek to diversify bank partners in the wake of Silicon Valley's banks meltdown. Now, these were the only two banks that a lot of these places could go to, so there's probably not a lot of other banks that want to work with these crypto platforms, especially when they're getting flooded with all of this bad stuff in the wake of what happened with FTX, which is what a lot of people predicted was going to happen. This is what a lot of these people who were talking about FTX before the crash went down were saying, that they're trying to attack the crypto industry. But that's a different story for a different day, I guess. Circle, Paxos, and Tether are among stablecoin issuers that say they are diversifying away from and have no exposure to Silicon Valley banks, which collapsed today. Smaller crypto companies may struggle to find a bank to work with after both SVB and Silvergate shutters. So, like I just said, it's going to be hard. So, looking right here. Crypto VC firm Pantera used Crypto Bank as a custodian. They had 1/3 of their assets at SVB as a custodian. They have two other custodians with Coinbase and I think BitGo. But if you don't know who Pantera is a VC firm that works with a ton of crypto projects, some of the biggest crypto projects in the space. If you go to a lot of these websites, you see Pantera Capital under a lot of them as people who are, providing capital to some of these projects. USDC stablecoin depegged for a little bit, which is pretty bad. They went down to around 97 cents earlier today. That is crazy to say right there. So it's interesting to me that we have these crypto banks going down, the SEC attacking crypto projects, everybody in Congress won't shut up about FTX and everything, going on with crypto without looking at what's going on with Gary Gensler and all this weird stuff going on. So it's very interesting to see that all these things are happening at a pretty interesting time, and it's not actually just going on in the crypto space. Right now, the Fed wants to slow down the economy. They have to slow down the economy. You get what I'm saying? So with them slowing down the economy, they have to raise those interest rates, and they have to basically withdraw liquidity from the market. And a lot of things that were over leveraged are not going to survive. We are starting to see that with crypto companies first, with like FTX and all that. Then we start to see that. We seen that in Luna, just in the crypto space, but then we seen it with FTX and all that, and now we're seeing some of these banks falling because of the same issue. Because right now, banks have a lot of unrealized losses. Let's go to this little thing right here. It says Big Four banks net unrealized losses. You got B of A, JPM, Citi, and WFC right here. You can see that. This is high. It's the highest it's ever been. The last 3 years, or the last, not even 3 years, like the last 2 years, this thing has been spiking pretty crazy, and Bank of America is kind of struggling right now. Bank of America is actually trending so much that they had to say, "Attention, Bank of America customers. Although some grim news has been affecting our competitors, we promise we are solvent." I don't know. I heard that before. I heard Sam Bankman-Fried say the same thing, but it says although some locations are experiencing up to 1.5. I don't know why I can't read whenever I'm doing a video. Up to 1.5 hour seller lines. We would like to remind you today is payday, and many people. Today's payday. That's why the lines are long. There's not a bank run on Bank of America. Now we got JP Morgan over here trending as well. So if people start to pull a bank run on the banks, it will be bad for everybody. So let's just relax a little bit. But definitely it'll be bad for the banks. But it's very interesting because the charts, like I said, are getting bullish. So the government, or a lot of people are begging Jerome Powell to say something about how he's having to keep these rates this way and raise these rates because the policy sucks right now. So he just got to use what he has because the policy sucks right now. Very interesting things just going on right now. And overall, people say, hey, this is good for Bitcoin. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be good for Bitcoin, but it'll be bad for all of humanity. So, like, if the banks are going to fall, we got to make sure that we're ready for them to fall. And we're not ready for that quite yet. You know what I'm saying? If you're thinking, hey, I'm going to have a lot of Bitcoin to buy a lot of stuff, there's not going to be no stuff to buy. So, I don't know why people are getting all excited about stuff like that. We cannot have the whole banking system fall at once. You get what I'm saying? So, let me know what you guys think in the comment box, because this is some interesting things going on right now. I'm just getting the popcorn out. You know what I'm saying? This will be interesting. The Fed has to cause a recession right now. So this is going to cause a recession for sure. A lot of those innovative companies that were banking with SVB have no funding anymore. And a lot of people are going to be laid off by the end of next week. Going to be very interesting. The Fed right now is saying they don't want to raise interest rates because employment is looking pretty good, but we know that companies have been laying off more and more people, and when banks start failing, more and more people start getting laid off en masse, and that's kind of what needs to happen. Sad to say, that's what they need to do to bring down inflation. It's a very complex and interesting problem, and once you understand it, that's why you say, hey, We should just kind of overhaul this whole thing, create token economies, and get deep into crypto. So, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Think positive and positive things will happen. RIP to crypto roots. And remember, never finish a negative statement about currency. Till next time. Peace.